Katt went on that interview, spoke a bunch of truths. People couldn't counter the things he was saying. I'm the same. So she's saying, that's why Katt did this, and she's connecting the two of them, trying to put herself in that category of somebody who speaks truth.
Wait a minute. Was Jaguar Wright really lying about everything she's been telling us for years now? Y'all better get in here for this mess, because Katt Williams just left everybody in shock after he went off on Jaguar Wright and slammed her for being a liar. Apparently, the things Jaguar has been saying have been a little bit off of the truth. Though they still have some truth in them, she greatly exaggerates it and adds her own version of events into it that really never happened, just to get a reaction out of people. This explains why she seems to know everybody's business, because she's really just making stuff up and she know people gon' eat it up. People were shocked to hear Katt slamming her like this, because not too long ago, Jaguar was telling us about how Katt apparently gifted her $20K, that he came back to her asking for help after he was almost unalived in his home. However, looking back, Katt has never publicly claimed Jaguar at all, and there isn't a single photo of them together at any point in time, even though she claims they've been friends for years. The math ain't mathin', y'all, and Katt is making it even worse by throwing her under the bus. Okay, so as y'all already know, Jaguar has been a trending topic for years now, but even more heavily in these past few weeks after her infamous Piers Morgan interview, which has now been heavily censored because Beyonce and Jay were upset about some of the claims that Jaguar made on the show. A lot of people were happy to see Jaguar finally get invited to huge platforms to speak her truth about what she witnessed in the industry, but some people flat out called her a liar. In the parts that have been censored, Jaguar accused Jay-Z and Beyonce of being a nasty, dirty couple with countless skeletons in their closet. She specifically accused Jay of investing millions of dollars into funding the investigation of R. Kelly because he wanted to have control of the information that was being released so nothing would end up incriminating him too. She also said that she currently has 3 victims in her possession who are willing to testify in court about what Jay-Z and Beyonce allegedly did to them. She said Jay and B allegedly drove people till they fell unconscious and flew them to their house to do whatever they please with them. Jaguar also claims that there are bodies in Beyonce and Jay's house and that Jay had a hand in Aaliyah's death.
Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim?
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must Stop.
Now, it's unclear where exactly Jaguar scooped up all this tea from, but some people believed it and others didn't like this at all, and that included J&B. Just a little over 24 hours after that interview dropped, they sent their lawyers to send Piers and Jaguar a cease and desist, and they also demanded for Piers to take that part down where Jaguar was slandering them, which he immediately did. He even went as far as to giving a public apology to J&B. Now, Jaguar, on the other hand, didn't apologize, but she also didn't come out with receipts to back up the claims that she made. This is when people started to side-eye her and accused her of possibly lying for clout. It's out of character for Jaguar to remain dead quiet, especially after Beyonce and Jay responded to her. People felt like if she actually had these witnesses on speed dial like she claimed and the receipts to back it up, this would be the best time to put it all on blast. Since she hasn't done anything, people feel like she made it all up. She can't provide evidence for something that simply never happened. To make matters even worse, it turns out the people aren't the only ones that feel like Jaguar is lying, because the word on the street is she recently received a call from Katt telling her to stop lying about knowing him because he don't want to get tangled up in all the legal issues she's about to have. Jaguar first spoke about her friendship with Katt a few months ago when she appeared in a heated interview with Real Life Productions, and she claimed that she and Katt have been friends for years. She even said that he's the one who motivated her to start speaking out about the things that were going on in Hollywood, and even gifted her $20K.
It's Katt Williams that taught me how to be Jaguar Wright.
Oh, wow. Okay. What was it about him that you kind of say, ooh?
10-10. He was my 30th birthday present. Almost 17 years ago. I'll never forget when he walked into the club and I was sitting at my table. It's my birthday party. And special ed brought him. And Katt was playing the amphitheater and he wanted to meet me. And he came to my party. He gave me about 20 grand in cash and said, consider it a down payment on your time. He taught me so much in 9 months. Walking away was hard, but it was when the Illuminati first started coming after him.
Jaguar then went on to make some very serious allegations about the time that Katt allegedly got attacked in his house and had to wear a Kevlar to bed every day. Apparently, the folks who tried to unalive Katt were contracted to do it, broke into his house with weapons just to try and finish him off. It's unclear how exactly Katt escaped that situation, but according to Jaguar, Katt used to be so scared for his life that he wore a Kevlar to bed every night.
And I'll never forget the day when they breached the house. And I left. You know, back in that moment, Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. To bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on.
Wow.
In bed.
At the time, people believed the wild things that Jaguar was saying, but now that Katt is denying knowing her, people feel like Jaguar made all this up as well, and that she only started bringing up Katt to make herself more believable. Things only got worse when the popular Behavioral Analyst, the Behavioral Arts YouTube channel, made a reaction video about Jaguar's interview with Piers to see if people were right about her lying. He broke down her body language well, and if y'all remember, there was a part of Jaguar's interview where she said she used to be an expert, and that's how she knows how interconnected that world is to the entertainment world.
I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz. The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes. I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drinking, putting girls in the suitcases, dumping them in alleyways. It's it's horrifying.
Well, apparently, she was lying about this too. And she only said this to convince people that she knew what she was talking about before she even said it. People also believe that this is probably the reason she lied about knowing Katt, because she wanted to use him to convince people that they can believe her.
The beginning of her answer here starts with her saying that what you're about to hear is my first-hand witness account experience. Then she talks about that experience, her experience in the field, working in this field, and how she knows the things she knows. Now, in interrogations and interviews, we call this type of thing a resume or convincing statement. These are statements that we hear before the answer when someone is trying to build themselves up, whether they're trying to build themselves up in morality, in saying something like, I'm way too honest to do something like that, check my record, I've never even had a parking ticket, or when they're trying to build up their credibility by stating their credentials. In this case, literally a resume statement. She's giving us her work resume, her experience in the field. Now, nothing is absolute in behavior, but when we do hear a resume or convincing statement, typically it indicates that the person wants to add weight to their answer. They want to qualify it in order for you to know that this is coming from someone that you can trust and who has credibility on this topic. Eyebrows down is also important. Conversationally, typically, when we see those eyebrows go down, it's usually in one of two categories. The first one is deep thought or trying to access memory or focusing on something, eyebrows go down. And the second one is unpleasant experiences, negative experiences. So whether it's anger, everywhere in the world, eyebrows go down with anger, with disgust as well, eyebrows might go down, or just in general, think of negative experiences. With all that said, there's a moment at the end of this when she's talking about this information that she has and what was done to these women. There's a moment where we see the eyebrows of sadness. And it's when she's talking about putting women in suitcases. So there's a lot going on through that sentence. And it starts with actually the universal expression of contempt. As she's saying, putting women in suitcases, as she's saying that, really quickly, the right side of her face scrunches to where we see the one line on the right side of her nose, a lot more obviously, and we see that right side of the mouth raised to the point where the right eye is closed as she's talking about that. That is a universal expression of contempt, pretty much everywhere in the world, and it's characterized by a scrunching on one side of the face when we look down on something or judge something. And maybe some of you felt it as well, that I felt her cadence, the way she was emphasizing things, breaking down that rhythm, felt very Katt Williams-like. And here, she's bringing him up in an attempt to kind of ally herself with him. Katt went on that interview, spoke a bunch of truths, people couldn't counter the things he was saying. I'm the same. So she's saying, that's why Katt did this, and she's connecting the two of them, trying to put herself in that category of somebody who speaks truths. In terms of likelihood of deception here, she seems very passionate about this, and she very much, in her behavior, seems like she 100% believes this. Now, there's a difference between perceived truth and actual objective factual truth. Does that mean that everything she's talking about is for sure happening? There's no way for me to tell you that. I just look at behaviors to try to determine if this person believes.
The analyst also brought up the fact that Jaguar has slammed Rick Ross for apparently being one of the very evil people in the industry, and that she even made it clear to him in multiple interviews that she would never take a picture with him. However, once she met him a few months ago, she was fangirling over that man and posted several photos that she took with him on IG.
One of the people that she has very often named in these interviews or these videos where she's outing the industry has been the rapper Rick Ross. She's very often talked about his connection to the darkness of this industry. Yet recently, maybe like 2 weeks ago, on Instagram, she was at an event and she posted pictures on her own account, and there were pictures of her with Rick Ross that she posted. And it didn't seem like this big negative thing where she was confronting him and calling him out. It seemed like a decent vibe. So that's confusing, because here you are saying I would never take a picture with Diddy, that man's the devil, but then here's this other man that you've said a lot of negative things about, and you're fine taking a picture with him. So again, that kind of confuses the audience.
So as y'all can see, things are not looking too good for Jaguar, and she's starting to lose her credibility. People are out here questioning her, investigating her whole body demeanor, and she's also getting served with cease and desist. As usual, people had their own thoughts about this. Like this person who said, Jaguar Wright is literally a schizophrenic who refuses to take her meds, confirmed by her son and other family members. Believing anything she says more about you than it does about her. It's so many videos on TikTok of people hanging on to her every word. Another person said, "What happened to Jaguar Wright is awful. You can clearly see she's not in the right space mentally, but she's also an evil person. I still remember her falsely accusing Dwayne and Gabby of having parties with underage minors in their home and said they're exploiting Zaya." But now I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about Katt allegedly denying Jaguar? And do y'all think Jaguar been lying this whole time? Y'all been knew what to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video.